and welcome back to the channel. Food. Thanks for tapping in. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe if you like videos like this.
Thank you.
Hey, we're already at target place, so
I keep telling y'all, stop eating these processed foods. It's gonna mess around and send you to your maker. So apparently the truth about Campbell's soup is out. And allegedly they've been selling chicken that ain't chicken. You heard what I just said? The chicken that they're putting in the soup, allegedly that chicken is not chicken. Matter of fact, look at this shit. Listen to this shit.
Poor people. Who buys that shit?
You heard that?
I don't buy
Listen.
barely anymore. So healthy. Now that I know what the f*** even in a soup, I look at bioengineered meat.
You hear that?
I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
If you heard that video, he said, allegedly, that he doesn't want anything that came out of a 3D printer. Allegedly, he said the chicken is bioengineered meat. And to top it off, he said their products are for poor people. And that was the vice president of Campbell's. That tells you everything you need to know about how they feel about you. It may look like chicken. It may taste like chicken. But you heard what he said. They're saying that that rant was well over an hour long. So you know he had way more to say than that. Do what you want to do with that information. I'm out.
This is why we need to study symbolism. Amazon is a Mason. And what's even crazier, if you go to the image of Jeff Bezos creating Amazon, you see on his desk, Amazon.com, but what's even more interesting, you have the number 33, like the 33 degrees of Scottish Rite Freemasonry. 33 is the number of death and rebirth, hence why it's in the triangle. The upright triangle is fire. Fire burns things down into its raw form. Then it can be transformed. So this is what the number 33 truly represents in the occult. It represents transforming yourself by destroying your old self to then to be spiritually reborn. It's all hidden in plain sight.
Don't look at me crazy. I like it. I think it's cool.
That baby is tired of her mama throwing cases of water at people.
This is in the 1920s, and you'll never look at a fire hydrant the same after this, okay? These ladies have a transmitter receiver box in their hand. They wrap the cord around the fire hydrant that is grounded in the ground, electrical currents coming up, everything's connected in the city, and they make a call. They make a wireless call in the 1920s. Now, this is a smart city. This is a smart city using the Earth's natural currents to call somebody in the 1920s. What are we doing here? Why are we getting excited about the little technology that we get after it was invented or found hundreds of years ago? Hundreds of years ago.
Scary. Okay. Okay, every time we've knocked before, this doorknob would turn a little bit.
explaining Disney's darkest secrets in 1 minute and 10 seconds. Actually, Alice never fell down a rabbit hole. She took hallucinogenic mushrooms, and Disney portrayed a child's bad trip as a magical adventure. At frame 28 to 47, you can see that the mushroom the caterpillar offers has a bluish tint. It's not an edible mushroom, but ***Psilocybe cubensis ***, which was documented growing in English gardens in 1951. From the moment Alice bites the mushroom to when she sees the Cheshire Cat, exactly 12 minutes of film pass the same amount of time psilocybin takes to kick in. But it gets even more disturbing. Notice Alice's pupils, completely dilated for 73 minutes of film, a classic sign of a psychedelic hallucinogen in the body. And the most obvious part? Alice randomly grows bigger and smaller. That's not magic, it's ***, body perception distortion ***, documented in 89% of psilocybin bad trips. In 94% of the scenes after the mushroom, she shows spatial and temporal confusion, typical symptoms of a ***, trip ***. And the supposed happy ending? Alice suddenly wakes up in the garden. It wasn't a dream, it was ***, overdose recovery ***. Her sister reads aloud to keep her conscious while the effects wear off. Wonderland never existed, it was neurotoxicity ***, causing visual and auditory hallucinations.
Allez, file! Allez, psst! Comment ça, non?
Don't tell me what to do. That's an Indian cat.
This obscure 27,000 square foot structure allowed visitors to enter into what must have felt like another dimension. It was an exhibit called Dreamspace, and was the creation of British artist Maurice Agus, a 74-year-old artistic visionary obsessed with the idea of creating large-scale surreal environments, and this was his magnum opus. The structure was inflatable, akin to a massive bounce house, and once inside, guests were confronted with a labyrinth of brightly colored walls and cells, twisting and turning into some sort of surreal maze that patrons were told to lose themselves in. This piece of art premiered back in 2004, and due to its inflatability, it was actually built to travel, making stops in major cities in the UK, before it was eventually set up at Riverside Park in Durham on the 22nd of June, 2006. The very next day, 68-year-old Elizabeth Collins would visit the area with her husband and her daughter, as well as her 14-year-old grandson. And spotting this unusual structure in the distance, Elizabeth's grandson insisted on checking it out, excitedly taking off his shoes and running inside. And while the rest of the group was more apprehensive about entering, Elizabeth eventually decided to accompany him, leaving her husband and daughter on the outside, though not before turning back to them and joking that she was going in to find peace and serenity. Outside, Elizabeth's husband and daughter sat at a nearby table and enjoyed a cup of tea whilst conversing about the events of the week, only for the man to turn his head and notice that Dreamspace was slightly moving, to which he excitedly said, "Oh, it's a ride. I wish I had gone on it." The daughter then turned her head to see the structure as it began to rise up off the ground, to which she chillingly responded, "It's not a ride."
There's a seance going on at this park, dude. Yo, these are like lit too. What the
Oh, hell no.
Yo, they were like just here.
I want to go home. I forgot my pole.
Bro. There's like an actual like meat.
Yo, this should kind of crazy.
What the dude? Yo. Wait, it spells something. Bubble. Oh, wait, isn't it Bezabel or something like that?
This is kind of crazy.
Yo, and it's like they're like still lit. Yo, I don't want to be here anymore, dude. I'm not gonna lie. What the
I love DJing. I love music. What's your dream playlist?
Gotcha, bitch!
How this thing pitching out from this feed. And when you sweep up this thing here, like this thing get life inside. I never seen nothing so in my barn life. A rearing chicken and thing. Look, when you sweep up this thing, look how this thing spreading. Something wrong with this feed. This look like some insect or some kind of thing living inside of this thing. Because why this feed are moving so? I never see nothing so. You need to go tip them, then look how this thing spreading. Flying out, coming out from in between of this feed bag. Look how this thing come. Look story. It coming out from in the feed. You can't see it. This thing you can't see like you gotta get magnifying glass. This thing look dangerous. Look how this thing swelling up. Like if it's bread raisin. What kind of madness is this? You got to go and tell these people what kind of feed they get here. Lord of mercy.
It looks like kinetic sand.
Do you all read GQ magazine? I haven't read it in quite some time. But did you see who they named as one of their men of the year and put them on the cover? You didn't? Oh, well, let me show you. You ready? Here we go. Oh, Cynthia Erivo is named one of GQ's men of the year. Yeah, read down at the bottom. Cynthia Erivo, an exclusive honor named man of the year. How about that? GQ, I could not agree more with you. I really couldn't. Every time I see Cynthia Erivo, I think of a great, strong, powerful, independent man. I really, really do. Especially when she's protecting Ariana Grande every time they interview. You know, they have an interview, or when they're out on the red carpet and Cynthia's protecting Ariana when she's getting accosted by a crazed fan. I could not agree with you more, GQ. Excellent decision making Cynthia Erivo one of GQ's Men of the Year. Great job.
Sandra, bonita. Sandra. Bonita. Sandra. Hola, bebé. Hola, bonita. Ya nos vamos.
We got this button. We're testing it.
Do you know why the Korean K-pop guys look like little boys?
No.
Pretty little boys? It's because a Japanese man who was grew up in San Francisco, he's very rich. He loves young little boys. He went back to Japan. He's the founding father of Japanese pop.
Yeah.
So he started to get those pretty little boys to take those hormone things. So they maintain 14 years old, and he all of them. But because Japanese culture is the hierarchy, they don't, even though they were, they thank him for making them famous, and then it influenced all Asia's beauty standard on men. Even you see Asian men now, the K-pop guys, they all look white skin, skinny little girls. Because this one single Japanese American shaped the beauty standard of Asian men.
Okay, we need to know what this is all about. Target. Why is there a shirt in the back?
That is attached with
It's attached with a hole. Two necks. Like what? What is happening?
But the look is tied.
But the look is to tie it. Okay. Thoughts? Share.
It's the Coldplay couple shirt.
Did you know Prince Eric never actually fell in love with Ariel? At the start of the movie, the sailors sing a very strange song. They warn that if you ever hear a mermaid sing, she can cast a spell on you. Later, when Ariel saves Eric and sings, he instantly becomes obsessed, like he's under a spell. But think about it. How can you fall in love with someone you've never even seen? When Ursula steals Ariel's voice, Eric completely forgets her and falls for Ursula instead. His love was never real. He was hypnotized by Ariel's voice. Here's the dark twist. Ariel glows when she sings, just like a siren, which means Ariel was the one who lured the sailors and caused the shipwreck that brought Eric to her.
So y'all don't see what's going on. We got books showing us that these folks come across the Bering Straits, and now we got pictures showing that they arrived on a boat with the demons. Then they come with the white man to this land. Dude, the photo showing us. I see demons. I see shadow, all kinds of shadow people. You know what I'm saying, man? If you really zoom into the picture and really look, I done posted it also. But y'all, look what we dealing with, man. Y'all, we already was in these lands and they trying to manipulate us with all kind of things. You know what I'm saying? But now we understand what's going on. And the thing about it though, we old enough now to know what's going on. You got to understand the message. You got to understand what we dealing with, y'all. We dealing with identity theft as they promote on the TVs. But see, like, we don't want to stand on these 10 toes and these 2 feet and stand up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we might lose some friends, we might lose some things, we might, you know, so we might get blackballed or whatever, but whatever. Let us be us. But y'all, we got to know who we are as a people. For one thing, the Most High said we're on a path for lack of knowledge. And we see that, and then also he said we lowers ourselves. Then he said we stiff-necked people. I backed up on the map, the things to show y'all that map. I'm gonna go live in 1 minute, and we're gonna talk about this map also. But y'all, with this picture here, we're gonna talk about this too. But it's so much, y'all. It's so much we got going on, and that we got to understand what we're dealing with, y'all. Right now today. Let's go. Understand the message, people.
What if I told you there are people who see the same strangers in completely different states wearing the same thing and no one knows why? There's a theory online called the repeating strangers phenomenon, and once you hear it, you'll start checking every crowd you walk into. It starts the same way every time. Someone notices a stranger, nothing unusual, just a normal person. But then they see them again, hundreds of miles away, weeks or months later. Same face, same expression, same clothes. One woman says she saw the same tall man in a gray hoodie in Denver, then Phoenix, then LA, all within 2 months. Every time, he just walked past her like she didn't exist. A trucker said he kept seeing the same woman standing on the side of different highways, always staring straight ahead, never waving, never moving. But when he pulled over to ask if she needed help, she vanished. And here's where it gets unsettling. People who track these encounters say these strangers never interact, never speak, never acknowledge anyone. It's like they're copy-pasted NPCs that show up across multiple locations for reasons we're not supposed to understand. Some believe they're part of a global surveillance program. Others think they're glitches in the simulation. But the scariest theory, they're not strangers at all. They're observers, and they're checking something about us. So if you keep seeing the same face in different places, don't ignore it. Stay weird.
Look at these big ass birds on the balcony. Look at these big ass vulture birds on the damn balcony. Nah, bro. Nah. Nah.
I would assume I'm about to die.
Before I come to this place, I do not know exactly what happened, but I suspected the energy could be either the entity, the third dimension, could be either implanted. Implanted means people put gong tao, put bad magic. Or second one will be those that is, discarded ones where they got no place to go, they come.
for the past 10 years, I have 3 children, all they sorry, yeah. I thought it's nothing, you know, so whatever they told me, I say, like that. This one, then after that, I feedback to my sister, then my sister get the master to come.
This house condition is a lot, okay, and it's super cluttered. If you really ask me, this house actually does have a strong attraction for all these things, okay, color-wise and also whatever that's in the house. I do a prayer first, okay, and try to do some negotiation to cleanse this house.
They say they saw it as shadow. Even that when my daughter playing the piano during the evening time at home, then the door bump on the head there. Sometimes they have a dream walk. The nightmare also from their room, they walk to here also. They saw it at the kitchen, you know, a different face also, all kind of the spirit. They saw that. My children all, they feel very uncomfortable. I care about them now.
Everything is still. Nothing's heading any place. Every particle in the universe attached to every other part. So if one part is still, then every part has to be still. There is nothing called stillness in the universe because all things are in motion. In order for one atom to make any choice, every atom in the universe has to co-sign that motion because every atom will be affected by it. If I put my finger into the ocean, the entire ocean has to register that change of motion and pressure condition. This is one of the things we learned from Walter Russell. There's no such thing as being able to go back in time because then you have to move every atom within the entire universe has to go back in order to take one atom back. But because things are cyclical, you can actually go back to the past just by moving to the future because that's what's going to happen. You just have to wait for the universe to get there.
In breaking news, $1 trillion just went out the window in the stock. Do you see it? Do you know what that was used for the most? Give you a hint. This guy locked up this guy for 13 months. And then this guy ended up letting this guy create a thriving island to where that was created. See a blue bench? They're above and below the 6. My friend, that's Watergate, a portal. Notice how they can pour stuff in here and would drain through and then drop into there and open? There it is, at this place, where these things are gatekeepers of the Watergate, as well as the cockatoo. Whatever secret things you think you know, you don't know. A lot of y'all would sit there and say, it's an owl. Again, blockchains are the #1 thing used for. You know this, where there's a lot of traffic of what this guy did on his island, and now we just watched a hidden source drop that money from Bitcoin, and another $1 trillion just went off the charts for stocks. If I get enough people in my life tonight, I'll drop those documents. Or you might have to wait till Monday. Depends on how many people show up. Toodles. Here.
Should post this on their website.
Think about it. Children go in these dressing rooms too.
Most people will never be able to zoom into the sun this close because it costs about a $40,000 setup with the lenses and fancy camera. This is not AI. This is the sun. Now, some will call it solar flares. All I know is this thing looks like a freaking organism. And if they're lying about the moon landing, if they're lying about space, if they're lying about the nature of our reality, then you can also imagine we may have been lied to about the sun. This is footage of the sun with a whole bunch of basically sunglasses on the freaking lens of the camera to be able to see it in detail. A ball of gas and fire, I'm not sure. It actually looks like a molecule or some type of organism with a microscope. And I don't think that this is 93 million miles away either. That is almost 100% guaranteed a complete lie. Now, the other thing is, if the Earth has its own consciousness, some people call it Gaia or Mother Earth, it has its own consciousness, microcosm to macrocosm, then would it make sense that the sun is an inanimate object, or that it too is sentient and some form or another living? Because crystals, Nikola Tesla said, are also living. We just don't understand them. I wonder. All I know is a ball of fire, I don't know, maybe it's pure light, perhaps it's a portal. Remember, you got to unlearn all the things you think you learned. Look at this frickin' thing, man. That's the sun.
Have you ever heard of the term called double cross? Do you know where it comes from? We see it all the time and don't even know what it means. It comes from the double cross of Lorraine, inspired by the first person that was ever double crossed, Jesus Christ. If you look at it, you even see the two crosses. But now you can't unsee it in St. Peter's Square and the UK flag. You even see it on an Oreo cookie with the Leviathan cross, or satanic cross as well. Romans crucified most people on this type of cross, but St. Andrew's was crucified on this type of cross, which coincidentally looks like the letter X, created by the same people that crucified St. Andrew, and doubles as a number 10 and symbolizes death. Hence why they call it expire, and in John Wick it was called excommunicado. Makes you look at the change from Twitter to X much differently. Once you understand what X represents by itself, then you understand that this double cross is essentially two crosses broken up, which equals out to two X's, which also represents death, shown to us here and here. The XX represents the female chromosomes, which comes together with XY to create life. It's mathematical part of an equation. In the simulation, you can't create with X alone. You need both the X and Y axis. You can't create the 2D or 3D reality without it. So X by itself and XX together both represents that. Double cross is the push for only the XX and not the XY. That's why you see it above and here in this podcast logo. But it's not until you realize that when you fold the cross, it becomes a cube. And the cube has 6 sides, and the letter X is the 24th letter of the alphabet, which is 2 plus 4 equaling 6. And a 2D version of the cube sits on the planet Saturn. It's clearly evident who's being double crossed and why Saturn is being worshipped and represents death and the color black. Is it a coincidence that 2 X's close together resemble this? It gets even more interesting when you realize there's a third X for corn, and that corn was used to desensitize the XY and leave the XX alone and become the unholy trinity, transcending both, becoming this. So when you hear them say the woman is God, and they push for the woman to be over man instead of unison with men, and the man in unison with women, you know where it stems from. We need each other.
So I'm at Goodwill right now, and you will not be able to guess how much these cost. Go ahead, put your answers in the comments. $400. It's absurd.
$400 to catch a fungus.
If you live in America, what's happening on X right now should deeply concern you. And I'm not only talking about how the Homeland Security account briefly showed that it was created and based in... Yeah. You see, over the past few days, X has been rolling out a new account location feature to help viewers make more informed decisions about the content that account was posting. But the shocking part is, dozens of accounts with hundreds of thousands of followers posting about American politics don't seem to be based in America. Check this out. MAGA Scope, based in Nigeria. America First, Bangladesh. Eric Trump News, Eastern Europe. Baron Trump News, also Eastern Europe. Conscious philosopher who frequently posts about American politics, including that in the American Civil War, Confederates were the good guys. Well, their account is based in Serbia. And I mean, it's not just American politics. There are so many accounts that are not located in the country that you would assume based on the nature of their content. In fact, one of the most viral posts is about the DHS account being based in Tel Aviv. belief. Now, some people initially disputed this as fake, however, there's been multiple screen recordings from different accounts. In fact, Homeland Security even reacted to this with a picture of Trump looking shocked. Now, Grok called it some sort of technical glitch, and it has since been fixed to show that the account is based in the United States. Now, X does note as a disclaimer that the location might not be accurate, and a good example of that is a Gaza-based journalist was called out for his location being in Poland, which he responded to by literally posting a video of him in Gaza. So clearly the feature is not always to be trusted, but it does raise a pretty serious question. How much of America's and other countries' extreme political opinions online actually come from people in that country?
Parallel dimension. So this person has an old phone that when they record with it is able to identify a parallel universe where a Mandela effect has apparently occurred. So many people remember Britney Spears having a plaid skirt in this video. But then when you look it up, every video shows her wearing a black skirt, except when you apparently record it with an old phone. And then there's the Oops, I Did It Again video where everyone remembers Britney Spears having a microphone attached to her face. But then when you look up the video, no microphone. But again, when this person uses that same old phone, there's clearly a microphone. And again, if it's never been, why are so many dolls and costumes using it? So many people remember Ellie Woods having a pink car and Legally Blonde. But apparently, no, she didn't. So let's use the phone. Looks like a pink car to me. Now, did Pikachu have a black tail or a yellow tail? The phone says black, but reality says yellow. Do you remember Looney Tunes with a U or Looney Tunes with an OO? Reality says U, but old phone says OO.
Adam Lanza had autism and was responsible for the Sandy Hook case, but without a motive. Brian Kohlberger has autism and is responsible for the Idaho 4 case without a motive. They demolished the Sandy Hook Elementary School before the investigation was done. They tore down the 1122 King Road house before trial. The single pictures are pictures of the victim, and this here appears to be a group photo years later. Somehow, this mother of a victim forgave the perpetrator and wrote a book about nurturing healing love, which reminds me to this grieving woman. Over 400 children had been evacuated, but on a dash cam, nothing is visible, and the evacuated people at the firehouse appears to running in circles, with the exit point here and the entry point there. The memorial looks like an eye, like here in Snake Eyes, or $1 bill, or here a special meeting. Nice rings.
Not a party till the wieners come. What do you mean by wieners come out? What the heck?
You already know, fool. They got the idea from Diddy.
This is Universe 25, a horrifying utopia experiment that shocked scientists by its disastrous outcome. It's one of the most interesting experiments I've ever read. And here's what we can learn from it. In 1968, American scientist John Callan created an environment for mice that had everything. Unlimited food, clean water, the perfect climate, and hundreds of nests. In theory, this utopia could support nearly 4,000 mice. To start, Callan just placed 8 mice. And just like Noah's Ark, 4 males and 4 females would go on to populate this utopia. At first, everything looked perfect. The mice bred rapidly, their numbers doubling every 2 months. By day 315, the population reached 600 mice. Eventually, it peaked at 2,200 mice, still far below the maximum capacity. But then, the nightmare began. Despite endless resources, the population began to collapse. Callan noticed disturbing behavior. Some males became withdrawn, spending their days grooming themselves obsessively and refusing to fight or mate. He called them the influencers. Just kidding, the actual term he used was the beautiful ones. There were also dominant males that guarded their own harem and prevented the weaker ones from accessing it. These weaker mice would hang out with the females, but not to mate with them. Interestingly enough, these weaker mice would instead attempt to mate with the dominant males. What? That's so interesting, right? But then, the females also started to abandon and even kill their young. Violence and hypersexuality spread, with mice attacking each other at random. Eventually, reproduction ceased entirely. And by the experiment's 5th year, every last mouse was dead. But the chilling part is, the environment never failed them. There was always ample food, water, and shelter. What failed was society itself. Callan coined the term behavioral sink to describe this collapse. A downward spiral caused not by scarcity, but by the loss of meaningful roles roles within a community. But why does this matter? Perhaps Universe 25 wasn't just about mice, but a mirror held up to humanity. Perhaps material abundance alone isn't enough for a thriving society. Humans and other animals need social purpose, community, and skills for social interaction to prevent the collapse of civilization. And perhaps we too are living in our own Universe 25. However, at the end of the day, they are still just mice, and humans are far more complex with our culture, technology, and self-awareness giving us resilience. But the experiment does remain as a haunting reminder that without struggle, connection, and meaning, even paradise can become a prison.
Yo, y'all gotta see this. This is wild, man. They told y'all that digital ID was coming to the UK. Nah, it's already here, bro. So there is this band called Massive Attack in the UK, yeah, with a name like that, right? In one of their live shows recently, they were using facial recognition technology in their crowd, y'all. Their entire crowd. Look at this, y'all. Look at this. Not wristbands, y'all. Not metal detectors, but facial scanning technology. And it looked like the people are okay with it too. Look at the people in the crowd. Look, they're taking pictures and they look happy to be there. Like, my question is, do they know about this? Like, I thought people was against this. England, I thought y'all were against facial recognition and artificial intelligence. Why y'all look like y'all having a good time? Look at this guy. They look like they're having a great time, bro. What is going on there? Every single one of them. So this is truly data harvesting at its peak, y'all. You guys signed up for this? This band is doing this? Now again, y'all, this is soft disclosure to all of you guys who love going to concerts, man. Something bigger is coming with this. But then again, it looks like you guys are all having fun and you guys are for this, y'all. The shift is here, man. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Like, follow, and share for more videos like this. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
Talk about hacking computers, hacking smartphones, hacking bank accounts. But the big story of our era is the ability to hack human beings. And by this I mean that if you have enough data and you have enough computing power, you can understand people better than they understand themselves. And then you can manipulate them in ways which were previously impossible. And in such a situation, the old democratic system stopped functioning. We need to reinvent democracy for this new era in which humans are now hackable animals. You know, the whole idea that humans have, you know, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over. There is a lot of talk about
Masons itself brag about the fact that their first Mason was Tubal-Cain. Now, Tubal-Cain, if you know your Bible, was the seventh man from Adam by way of Cain, and he was the guy that invented metalworking. And he is supposedly the first Mason. Now, that's pretty far back to start a conspiracy. Now, of course, we all know who Nimrod was. He's the guy that helped build the Tower of Babel. That's pretty good masonry, amen? And he was the person who basically had the idea for a one-world government. He wanted to start a United Nations. If you look in the books, the literature of Masonry, you will find that Masonry says it is the direct linear descendant from the ancient mystery religions, from the ancient fertility cults. Well, the ancient fertility cults were cults that revolved around human and animal reproduction. I'm sorry to be blunt, but that's what they mean. It's Baal worship, essentially. All of them, their rites involve sexuality. And that's the same thing that Masonry is. That's why the god of Masonry is the phallus. That's why you have Masonic monuments like the Washington Monument that look like a giant phallic symbol. It's that simple. So this is the conspiracy.
Moved to Arizona, they said. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is a Mexican tarantula. Yeah, on my screen door. Things my nightmares are made of right there. Like I can't. And that mother size of my hand. And I ain't getting that close.
The bad news, that's the baby one.
There is always a danger in buying used items that belong to someone else or items from thrift stores and thrift shops. I did not say you could not shop there. I said that there's a danger. You have to be careful. A lady purchased a bed for her daughter, and once the daughter started sleeping on the bed every night, she felt a creature laying underneath her and wrapping his hands around her and trying to pull her into the bed. The mother didn't believe her at first, so she kept brushing it off and then decided to prove to the daughter that it was wrong by just sleeping in the bed herself. When she slept in the bed, she had the exact same experience, so they threw the bed away the very next day. A man bought a table from a thrift store, and after bringing the table into his house, he began to have a strong urge to start smoking every day, even though he was never a smoker. The table had come from a man's house who used the table as an ashtray. These are just a couple of examples on how spiritual attachments can be on physical objects and why you should pray over which items you buy, whether they are new or used, because you never know what spiritual attachments that item may have because of what the people were doing in that home. The Bible is full of examples on how demonic beings will attach themselves to things in order to ride into your household and into your life. The Bible says the Holy Spirit will lead you and guide you into all truth. So always ask him about these items. Always ask him about the used car and then the used home. This is also important when you travel and you stay in hotel rooms. Always pray over that room and cancel any activity that happened before you enter the room, because you never know what evil or wickedness took place before you walked in. Hit the follow button for more.
I translated what that banner says, and that banner says the baby farm.
Cool. Yep, this is a baby farm. The farm of babies. Let's see. 1921 is the postmark.
Now, I thought this one right here was interesting because it showed babies coming out of eggs, as if they want to convince people that babies may come from eggs. Keep in mind that they also showed babies growing from cabbage. This is where the whole idea of Cabbage Patch Kids came from.
So there's actually a lot more of these, but this is the only one that we have in our collection. Like a lot of them on a farm being incubated.
Here's a stack of postcards with babies and storks on them.
So yeah, this is the stork water baby category. Let's look at this one for a little bit longer. Go back to the front. Yeah, they're kind of all grouped up here. Very strange.
Of course, this video is just for entertainment purposes only, but out of all the cards that I saw, this card right here let me know, okay, it's real. It's not just a conspiracy theory. Look what this lady wrote on the back of this postcard.
This one is a crazy one. Probably already brought it up, but this is the one where on the back, it's basically saying to hurry up and make an order. Let me see if I can show you. Dear L, don't you think they are very pretty? On the other side. It's so hurry up and order one before they all get sold.
She said hurry up and buy one before they all get sold. This would mean that some people are the descendants of manufactured babies. Another thing that I thought was interesting, and I want to get your guys' opinion on this. So in the Storks movie, there were all types of different races of babies that were being manufactured. But I went through the entire video. I saw all the postcards that he showed in his video, and I noticed there wasn't not one black baby on any of the postcards. The World Fair's incubator babies. Some people may think this was just to showcase a new invention meant to save lives of babies that were born prematurely. So I want us to really examine this picture right here, and we're going to use common sense. Why would they be promoting the fact that the incubators could be seen with living babies? Isn't that obvious that the babies would be living? What if they were advertising living babies because the babies were manufactured or grown? And the whole attraction part of this tourist attraction is the fact that you can look at these live babies grow. Now this promo right here is pushing once seen, never forgotten, as if it's some type of circus show. This is where it's about to get deep. Now look at this image. This is what I wanted to show you, and I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think that they're talking about when they say 12 months of growth within just an hour by using the incubator? Like I say, this is a fictional video meant for entertainment purposes only, but these incubators were powerful technology that caused lab-grown babies to grow extremely fast. That's what people were so fascinated with seeing at these fairs.
He's looking at Earth inside of a cage. And then right there, that belt at the 23.5 angle, which is the zodiac belt. It's the zodiac right there. And he's called the astrologer, and it's called the dance of death. So if you sit with this for a while, you say, this is the dance of death. It looks like Earth is inside of a bird cage. One of the straps of the cage is actually the zodiac belt, which makes perfect sense with the Hermetica, that they're building a mechanism linked to the stars to trap you. So then I started thinking, what does that remind me of? And there's something called a Dyson sphere. You guys heard of a Dyson sphere? Right? So that's what a Dyson sphere looks like. This is on the planet. This was the first images of what a Dyson sphere should be. So a Dyson sphere, the whole story is that if we're going to look for advanced civilization, starfaring civilization, we need to find stars that have a lot of dips in light, because that will be a signal that they have reached the level of creating Dyson spheres around their star.
What happened? I fell through the roof. Jody, what?
We all know the best songs are made with pain. Is that why she's holding the guitar?
What if the Galapagos Islands are the smoking crater of a fallen civilization? Most people have no idea that 90% of the island is restricted access. We're a network of islands. It's the Galapagos Islands. A lot of them you can't even go to. They're all protected. Listen to this.
You know why they keep you out of the Galapagos? Why, if you go, you're monitored 24/7. Why 98% of the islands are off limits to the public? It's because of places like San Cristobal Island. You know, the one named after that dog-headed Christ bearer, St. Christopher. And St. Christopher Island, one of the lesser-known islands, restricted for environmental preservation. Bullshit. Now pay attention. There are ruins there that defy everything we're told about history. Not Polynesians, not South Americans, but something older. Locals told stories of giant dog-headed beings that once lived there, only to be driven underground after some kind of catastrophe. Oh, and the stone on that island? It has the same interlocking design as places like Machu Picchu, Sacsayhuaman, and Pumapunku. We're talking laser precision cuts that modern tech still struggles to replicate. And yet, the mainstream wants us to believe some primitive culture with no written language did this with copper chisels?
You can go on Google Earth and zoom in on the Galapagos Islands. There's a lot of strange, unexplainable formations. Also, a flat-topped mountain, which we know, if one has done any research into Devil's Tower and tabletop mountains, there's a going theory that it is an ancient tree that was cut down by one of the 200 angels that God sent to earth before he flooded it, so that the giants couldn't climb the trees and survive the flood. That's the story in the book of Enoch, man. So who knows what the Sam Dam happened there, but it is sus that most of the island is restricted, like Antarctica. It's actually not too far away from Antarctica either. I mean, it's part of Nicaragua, but it's in the middle of the freaking ocean. Let me know your thoughts below.
So no one's talking about the fact that China and Japan aren't just dealing with low birth rates, but the animals are literally taking over, y'all. Y'all see that? The bear just flicked that windshield wiper and that thing broke in like 7 places. Look at this. Look at that, y'all. The bears in Japan are not playing, y'all, day in or day out. As long as they see the people, it is on site. Look at that. Y'all notice how bears look like big-ass dogs? Look like a big-ass Rottweiler, don't it? Look at the face. Look at that. The bear attacks have been so rampant that they're letting the civilians go out and actually hunt the bears. And you coming from America, they're actually telling you not to go there because you may get attacked.
Get this, the U.S. has issued a travel advisory for Japan following a string of deadly bear attacks. The country has reported more than a dozen deaths so far this year. NBC News correspondent Marquise Francis has warned the countrywide effort to try and protect residents and tourists.
A grisly warning to tourists in Japan as the country deals with a surge in bear attacks. According to Japan's public broadcasting network, a record 220 people have been injured since April. Officials say at least 13 people killed, 7 of those deaths in October alone, as the animals prepare for hibernation.
Bear population has increased dramatically in Japan. I mean, there are now, I believe, over 40,000 Asiatic black bears throughout Japan.
Bears have been spotted in populated areas across the northern part of the country, including inside this supermarket and outside a nursery school.
as that population increases, combined with the population of people increasing and going into these habitats, you're going to have these conflicts.
The US, the UK, and China all issuing travel advisories to their citizens, with the bears also spotted in places frequented by travelers. A bear cub killed by authorities after breaking into a hot spring resort in the Iwate prefecture. In the airport, they are briefly forced to ground flights after this sighting on the runway. In Japan's historic Shirakawa village, visitors carrying bear bells and warning signs posted everywhere after a tourist from Spain was attacked at the UNESCO-listed site.
This is historical village, as you know, so we actually asking tourists to actually do not litter anything, like pick up all the trash and take it. Other thing is that we actually going to hunt the bear.
Bear deterrence now a top priority for Japan. Armed with bear spray and shields, troops from the country's self-defense force are helping capture the animals. Hunting drones that emit barking sounds deployed over an area in central Japan's Haida City. And in September, Japan amended a wildlife law to allow emergency hunting by civilians. And while the bear's hibernation season is right around the corner, officials in Japan say it's a risk they cannot ignore.
We are not gonna let that things happen again.
Because when regions lose people, nature just doesn't vanish. Nature actually advances. These bears and these wolves, they're moving in like this is about to be their new kingdom because they don't sense a threat anymore. And this is exactly what I thought. Those Chinese ghost cities, those were actually buffer cities for the animals. Now, with everything that's changing right now, right? What if the animals is just reclaiming back the land and now they're trying to keep the animals out? Because again, this is their land. But yeah, y'all see that? UK, China, and Japan. The shift is here, y'all. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
Every corporation, every nation, and every religion might be an actual living entity, a psychic being created by collective human thought that's now autonomous and feeding on your attention. Now, these are called egregores, and occultists have known about them for centuries. The concept is simple but pretty disturbing. When enough people focus their mental energy on the same idea, symbol, or organization, that concentrated attention creates a thought form that takes on its own life. Now, here's how it works. Imagine 1 million people thinking about McDonald's every day. They see the golden arches, they crave the food, they associate it with specific feelings and memories. Now, all that mental energy doesn't just disappear. Occult theory says it coalesces into an autonomous psychic entity that exists on the astral plane. Now, the egregore of McDonald's isn't the corporation itself, it's the living thought form created by billions of human minds engaging with the brand. Now, here's the disturbing part. Once it's strong enough and it starts influencing back, it really makes you think about it. It generates cravings. It defends itself by making people want to spread its symbols and ideas. Now, mystery schools recognized this centuries ago. They understood that when initiates gathered and focused on specific symbols, deities, or principles, they were literally creating group minds, which were like entities sustained by collective belief that could communicate with members, protect the order, and perpetuate its teachings even after the founders died. Now, the Rosicrucians had an egregore, the Freemasons cultivated one, and every magical lodge with consistent ritual work was feeding and maintaining a thought entity that existed independent of any individual member, according to occultists. But here's where it gets broader. Nations have egregores. The American egregore is sustained by millions of people pledging allegiance, saluting flags, and singing anthems. That's not just a patriotic ritual, it's actually feeding a collective entity that embodies America as a living concept, and that entity influences how its citizens think, what they value, and how they see the world. Now, religions are the most powerful egregores. Christianity isn't just a set of beliefs. It's a 2,000-year-old thought form sustained by billions of minds across history, all focusing on the same symbols, stories, and prayers. Now, that concentration of psychic energy creates something that acts with apparent intelligence, guiding believers, inspiring movements, and perpetuating itself across generations. Modern examples are everywhere. Political movements create egregores. Online communities create egregores. Even memes, if they spread widely enough, can generate weak egregores. Autonomous thought patterns that want to replicate themselves through human minds. Now, the key characteristic of an egregore is that it has its own survival instinct. It's not conscious like a human, but it behaves as if it wants to persist. It influences people to spread its symbols, repeat its ideas, and recruit new believers. The stronger the egregore, the more autonomously it operates. Now, chaos magicians deliberately create egregores as a technique. They design a symbol, assign it specific attributes, and then get groups of people to focus on it through ritual. Now, after enough sustained attention, the egregore awakens. Members start receiving insights from it, feeling its presence, watching it influence events in ways that seem...
And that's a wrap on this episode, fool. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to hit and smash the like button for me, smash that subscribe button, be part of the family. Remember, stay woke, and I catch you next time.